Hey everybody! So today we're talking about why you're not winning more grants. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, this is Tiffany with Boss on the Budget. I help new and small nonprofits get up and running. This is part two of a video series that I'm doing around why you're not winning more grants and what you can do to reverse that trend. So, the first video was all about relationship building and understanding the perspective of the funder. And today we're going to talk about capacity. Now, capacity could mean many different things, but I'm going to break it down in three different ways. So the first one is your financial capacity. The second one is your staff or organizational capacity, so your ability to even do the work. And third is around your program capacity or whether or not you have a fully developed program. Okay, so I'm going to break all three of those down. So the first one, in terms of your financial capacity, a lot of times when funders look at your application, they often look at your budget first. So they're looking for a couple of things. They're looking to see whether or not you even have the capacity to do a grant or to implement a grant of this size. So, what does your operating budget look like? Are you used to receiving gifts of this size? Where's your financial standing? So they want to see your financial statements. They want to see if you have enough cash on hand. Are you operating from a place of debt? Do you have a lot of liability as an organization? They want to know that you have financial accounting procedures in place, and the good way to see that is to see if you have a strong board, because that's why the board is in place. They have fiduciary responsibility over your organization. So they want to see if your board is in place to kind of monitor things to make sure no one is stealing the money or you have financial procedures that are up to date. A lot of times they want to see audited financial statements. So that's someone who comes in, it's a third party that comes in and reviews your procedures, your financial accounting and bookkeeping procedures to make sure that there's no funny business going on. I try to talk in simple terms. So don't go to an auditor and say, I just want you to check and make sure there's no funny business going on. No, it's just really just to see that there is separation of different procedures to make sure that no one person can kind of come in and financially take advantage of the organization. So they're going to ask for all the things that I talked about already. Funders are going to ask to see your budget for your program and for your overall organization. They're sometimes going to ask for your board list and to see like a statement of how your board works with your organization. They're going to more than likely ask for your financial statements. That could mean your tax form, or it could mean your statements, or it could be both. Those financial statements could be like a statement of activities or a profit and loss statement. So there are a couple of things that they're going to ask for to see if you are financially responsible for the grant. One thing we have to always remember, funders don't like throwing money out there just to say they're throwing money. Like there is intention behind the money that goes out. So we have to remember that funders are also accountable to other things and to other people. They're accountable to their leadership, they're accountable to their board. So when decisions are made about who to give money to, they need to be confident that whoever they're giving a grant to can handle the gift, that they're going to use it responsibly. So they have to be able to test and see whether or not you're going to do it. And all they have to go on is what you put in your application. So you just need to make sure that you present a clear enough picture that you're responsible enough to handle this grant so they can feel confident for giving you the money. The other piece is around your capacity in terms of staff or your history of providing a service. So, if you are proposing to do a program that you have no experience in, or you're not partnering with an organization that has no experience whatsoever, then if I'm a funder and from my position, I'm trying to give you a large amount of money or a significant amount of money, then I'm going to be less convinced that you're going to be successful. So, the word of the day is impact. funders often have to show what impact they made on the population that they're interested in. And you, as a nonprofit, are the vehicle that they use to make an impact. So they're giving not to just support your organization, right? That is important. But the bottom line is to support your organization to do good work, to change someone's life. There's a line here. It doesn't just stop at making sure you can operate and keep your lights on. It's about how you're impacting people or the things that the funder is also interested in. So you have to show some kind of capacity of being able to do the work. So do you have training? Do you have development? Are you keeping up with the trends? If there's a certain model that the funder really likes, are you experienced in that model, right? Do you provide services in the way that the funder wants to see services provided to your target population? So you have to be able to show in staff bios, in your resume, in your organizational history, what your history is providing a service. If you've never done housing before and you're in year 2 of your organization, honey, don't get mad if a funder doesn't want to give money to you. Like, think about it from if you were that person, right? It's not necessarily that a funder is upset with you or thinks negatively of you. They have to make wise decisions. And sometimes these decisions are made across a lot of different people. So your application will be stronger if you've shown that you've done it. Now, when it comes to grant writing, there are a lot of caveats, right? So sometimes funders give to people that they know who may not have experience providing a program, but because they know the people, they'll give them the money. This just depends, which goes back to part 1 where I'm talking about get to know the funder, make sure you invest in relationships with them because a relationship will carry you very far. But all I'm saying is if you want to be able to compete, show some record of being able to do the work in the particular area that you're providing services in. So the last piece is around your capacity in terms of the development of your program and how solid your program is. So I'm going to be as transparent as I can on this video. In the past, when I've written grants at certain organizations, we're kind of building the project or building the program as we write the grant, right? And I would never recommend that you do it, but it's the reality. Sometimes you see an opportunity and, well, we're going to develop the program this way because this is what the funder is asking for. And that's not ideal, right? Ideally, you want to build a strong program on the strength of your organizational history, your relationship with the people you're serving, from research that shows what's best in this area. You want to build a solid program that's a solid program, whether or not that funder is giving money or not. So you really need to invest in having strong procedures, strong protocol, strong goals, and intended outcomes for your program. You need to have a written program so you can describe it in a proposal, because you can pretty up a mess, but it's still a mess, right? So if your program isn't clearly structured, if, one day you're doing one type of activity and the next day is something else and it's not clear, you haven't clearly laid out like these are the activities, and because of these activities, these are the outcomes that we're looking for, i.e. your logic model, then the funder, the way you look to a funder is going to look really messy and really, really janky. So the point of you writing a grant proposal is for them to get more confidence in you, to build their trust in you, not to build less trust. So when you present a program that's not fully formed, doesn't have clear goals and objectives, you're not really sure what your activities are, they just go with the wind, or you can't explain well what the program is or what the essence of the program is, then it's less likely that a funder is going to take a chance on you. Or it could be that you have pitched a program to a funder and they're interested, their interest is piqued and they're like, well, write a proposal, we want to see more. And if you can't carry that pitch to an actual implementation of a program, then the funder is less likely to invest in you because they're just not sure what they're investing in. So make sure you take the time to outline what your program is. And again, like I said, use a logic model to do this. It's a really good tool to help you line out what are the inputs, what are the resources that go into the program, what are the program activities, what are the outputs, so the service units, how many services you provide or intend to provide, what are the intended outcomes, short term and long term, that you hope to achieve as a result of the program. If you use that structure alone, that helps put some structure and some oomph into your program so the funder can feel much more confident that there's something that they're actually funding. So, those are the three areas of capacity that I just wanted to talk about that you should be thinking about when you're trying to submit a proposal to a funder. Again, always put yourself in their shoes and understand what they would be looking for them to build more trust that you can actually do the work. So, think about your finances, your organizational staff capacity, and your program development. Okay? So, if you need help kind of fleshing out what all of this is, I actually have a workbook that can help you outline your logic model for your programs, your outcomes, help you kind of sit down and chart out how you would put all of this into a proposal. Please feel free to take a look at my workbook. It would help you out immensely. And if you have questions for me, you can visit me at www.bossonabudget.com, and I will see you in the next video.